Hey everyone, what is going on? My name is Untitled Chapter, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing the Q&A video as promised in the last two Payday 2 videos. This was going to be for 1,500 subscribers, but since then we've hit 1,600, which is just ridiculous. The amount of subs that we're getting recently is just mental, and the support that I've been getting is honestly mind-boggling, so thank you so much for everything that you guys have been doing. And on top of that, thank you for everyone who left a question for this Q&A. If you did have a question and didn't leave it, don't worry, I'm probably going to do another one pretty soon. Just honestly, what I'll say is I'll leave the floodgates, so to speak, open. If you have another question, just send it to me at some point and just start the message off with, this is for whenever your next Q&A is, here's my question, blah. Then just let me know and I'll keep hold of the question, and when I do another one, I'll just compile them all together and go for it. But yeah, there's a good balance here between Payday stuff and non-Payday stuff. That's what I wanted. I wanted there to be, a few questions about Payday because I expected that. But I wanted it to be a bit more about, what I do other than making videos and other than just Payday in general. So, there's been a good mix. So thank you very much for everyone who submitted the questions. But let's get straight into this and get answering some questions. Fortnite or PUBG? Now, I've played both Fortnite and PUBG, and I have to say that I'm not a huge fan of either, mainly because I just suck at them, to be completely honest. It's nothing to do with, the gameplay as such. It's more that I can't really handle myself in, a one-on-one gunfight. If there's more people, it's just an absolute nightmare, but I don't know what it is. I just struggle to actually fight well in games like that. And like Call of Duty and Payday and stuff, I can aim a gun quite easily and get good kills and stuff, but I mean, Payday doesn't really count as good kills, because if you can't kill cops, what are you doing playing Payday? But the point being, in FPS games, I'm normally quite good. I'm not amazing, but I can hold my own. But in Battle Royale games like Fortnite and PUBG, I just can't do it. I'm just terrible, and I don't know why, so I just don't tend to play a lot of either of them, even though I own them. But if I had to pick one that I prefer, I'd say Fortnite. Mainly because I really like the building element in it, and I like the graphic and cartoony style it has, rather than PUBG. PUBG just, I don't know, it doesn't stand out that much to me. It's like both games are games that I'm not very good at, but in terms of appeal, I'd pick Fortnite. Next up, we've got several questions from Heartbreaker. We'll tackle them one by one, but until I say otherwise, they're all coming from this one person. So thank you very much for all the questions that you did send in. I'm pretty sure you sent them across both videos, which was real dedication, so thanks for that. But first off, what are your four main heisters? At the minute, I'm pretty sure off the top of my head, they are Sydney, Jimmy, Scarface, and then Hoxton. Mainly Jimmy and Scarface because the DLC ones, and I kind of like the characters. Sydney, if you don't know, Sydney's my favourite character at this point, then you've got some catching up to do on Payday videos. I adore Sydney's character. I love everything about her, so she's always the character that I play as first. But I like Jimmy for his humour and his kind of British attitude. Someone said in a video a while ago that I sound like Jimmy. I don't know whether I sound completely like him just because I have a British accent, but that was an interesting comment to leave. But either way, yeah, there's him. Scarface, I just like Scarface Heist. I like Scarface as a character, but I've never seen the film. And it's such a cardinal sin, I really need to watch it to say that I like Scarface. But I don't know, I like his character in the game. And then as for Hoxton, another British one, but I played as him quite a lot before a lot of the DLC characters came out. I usually flip between Clover and Hoxton when the base game came out before any DLC, so I just kind of kept Hoxton in there, to be honest. He's just kind of a good backup to fall back on if for some reason I join a pub game and none of the other three are available. Next question, are you more dodge or armor? Honestly, probably dodge at this point. I wanted to kind of be more of a main for armor at the start of the game, but armor builds are too kind of hard to customize in my opinion. There's not as many options for armor as there is for dodge, at least from the attitude that I'm looking at, because with armor, the main ones you can look at are Armorer perk deck and Anarchist perk deck. Yeah, sure, you could say Muscle works quite well with armor, but I'm thinking more about straight up having tough armor and being like kind of an Iron Man type thing. Armor is good and all, but it's not really great in giving you a lot of protection. It doesn't give you a great deal more armor. It doesn't double your armor value or something. And Anarchist, it works well in certain situations, but in other situations it can completely fall apart if it's like an open area map. Like if it was Goat Simulator, nothing you do for Goat Simulator is going to help you, but I don't know, I just tend to like dodge more now for movement speed out of everything. Also the fact that you dodge at least half the bullets that are fired at you, that's, a very, very nice thing, especially in high difficulty, but I like the movement speed, being able to get from A to B, because even though you're dodging half the bullets, and that's an added bonus, you're actually spending less time out in the open taking damage anyway, because you're running a lot faster. So it works a lot better for me. In terms of dodge, I prefer Croc builds over Rogue builds at the minute, just because I like the extra added bonus of a bit of armor to fall back on if I get hit. So that's kind of my balance, but I would say dodge over armor at the minute. Would you rather have Master Chief as a playable heister or Nathan Drake? Now, really, it's not really a very easy question for me to answer because I've never played an Uncharted game, mainly because it's PlayStation exclusive and I haven't owned a PlayStation since PS2. And as for Halo, the only Halo game I've actually played is Halo Reach. and even then I played like the first mission of the campaign. I might have quit halfway through it, to be honest. And I played a bit in the Forge, which was like the level builder, I think it was called that, because that was the thing that kind of attracted me to download it when it was made free on 360. But I didn't play enough of the game. Halo has never appealed to me. I just don't find it that interesting. Maybe if I played a few more games and got into it, or grown up playing it like I had with, well, to an extent, GTA. I wasn't like 6 playing GTA like some people are, but I grew up kind of playing a lot of the GTA games, so I like the older ones. Maybe if I'd done that with Halo, I might have been more into it, but I only got an Xbox 360 in 2012, so by that point, most of the Halo games had come out, and they didn't really seem like my thing, so I never really touched them. But in terms of characters themselves, who I think would fit more would probably be Nathan Drake. I don't know much about him, but I kind of get a vibe of the Uncharted games and similar, kind of like sort of get the idea of like the lines of what the game's about, and I feel like his character would suit a Payday heister a lot more than just some random dude in Spartan armor who has like a light up sword. It just doesn't really, I mean, even saying that, Nathan Drake sounds better in my opinion. Maybe you disagree, I don't know, but that's who I'd pick. If you could pick one character to be a heister from any movie, TV show, video game, or comic book, who would it be and why? See, it's made it difficult for me because I would pick John Wick, and it's ironic because I only know about John Wick because of Payday 2, but out of all the films I've seen in my life, no kind of character in a movie or a TV show suits it better than John Wick. He is just amazing. I love Keanu Reeves as him. I love the whole franchise and everything. And yeah, of course, it's because of Payday that I've watched the films, but no one suited better. In terms of who I would pick, I don't know. Like, I've sat and thought about this a little bit. Like, I was going to answer the question spontaneously, and I've sat here, like, and retaken this answer a few times just so I can think about it. Because it's such a hard question to answer. Because there's so many people you could pick, but you have to have someone who not only is unique and kind of special, but has their own backstory and also has personality. You can't have a heister without personality. Otherwise, it just wouldn't work. So, I don't know, maybe like Rick from The Walking Dead is a weird choice, but he might work because of the way like his attitude is quite unique, and I don't really know any other TV characters like him. But other than that, I think comic books are a good place to go because you could pick like supervillains, like Batman supervillains, like Joker or Two-Face, who would have, again, their own personalities and be unique, and they'd be like crime-based kind of characteristics. Or Catwoman, I mean, she's a burglar, she'd fit perfectly. So, I'd say someone from a comic book, or maybe like a Walking Dead type character like Rick would be interesting, but I don't know, that's a tough one. I want to know what other people think. If you want to leave your comments as to what you think about that question, leave them down below. I actually want to kind of have a debate with people about that. That's interesting, but there's my answer. Out of all the movie and game tie-in characters, which one would you have on Payday 3? And by that I mean characters like Jacket, Jimmy, John Wick, Booty, and Scarface. Do you mean Bodhi? I'm guessing you mean Bodhi. Well, I kind of already answered this question, I suppose, and that would be John Wick. I like the way that he's got his own time with chains, and they both knew each other from the military. I don't know, just because I love the film franchise so much, that is just a dead given for me. I do like Scarface and Jimmy, like I've said, but I'm sorry, John Wick trumps both of them. He's just much better. I suppose someone might be thinking now, well, why isn't John Wick one of your top 4 playable heisters? I'm not a fan of the voice actor who plays him in the game. It's not that I think he's bad, it's just he doesn't sound like Keanu Reeves at all. And as a result, I'm just kind of like, Plus, I just prefer the other characters in terms of personality. And the way their lines are delivered to John Wick. John Wick is just an all-round badass, but in terms of vocal performance compared to other heisters, he's not as good. And I look for vocal performance quite a lot in, who I play as, because I want someone to be stand out in the way that their voice actor works. So no offense to the voice actor who plays as John Wick, it's just he's not Keanu Reeves, and I think he'll agree on that front. Anyway, we're moving on to the next question from Snake, which is, what do you think is going to happen with Bane? So obviously this is mild spoilers. I've said this in past videos, like there probably is nobody who cares, but chances are there's always that one person sat behind the computer going, oh, I don't want you to spoil Payday 2's storyline for me. So if you are that person, just stop listening at this point. But if those of you who don't know and want to know what's going on, basically in the Reservoir Dogs heist that was released on PC, they did it in a very weird way. I'm pretty sure it's like the way Reservoir Dogs the film goes, but I haven't seen it. Again, another cardinal sin, another film I need to watch. But in the heist, they do the days backwards. So day 1 is day 2, and day 2 is day 1, if that makes sense. You play the second half, and then the first half. And it starts off with Locke being your kind of voiceover instructor person. And then in day 1, we go back to Bane, and we see that at the end of that heist, at the end of that day, Bane gets compromised, gets captured, and we don't really know what's happened. There are people saying Bane's dead, and I just can't see it. Personally, he's been in the game for so long, and he's been, kind of one of the most prolific characters that you don't play as, like the biggest NPC in the game. So honestly, I just kind of feel like he's probably been captured. I think it would be really, really awesome to have like a Hoxton Breakout style heist for Bane to break into like the FBI and get him out. I think that would be absolutely awesome. It's just the only issue now is Bane doesn't wear a mask. So if he's been arrested by, say, the police or something, then there's going to be kind of evidence of what he looks like. So maybe that could be a tie with the heist as well. Get Bane out and then delete all evidence of, his face, his like kind of his appearance, any security camera footage that shows what he looks like, any interview tapes, that kind of thing. So it could make an all-round full heist, a complete heist that you could actually execute as a Payday kind of DLC. So that could work. I doubt they call it the Bane Breakout. It just sounds a bit too dodgy. I mean, we know we have like 3 heists with Diamond in it, but I don't know. I feel like they go for something a little bit different. Like, I don't even know. If I come up with the name now, it'd be too cringy, so I'm not even going to embarrass myself. But I think Bane's alive, and I think there'll be a heist to get him out. We've got nearly 2 years worth of DLC support. I can't see Locke being our voiceover instructor for the next 2 years. I like Locke, and I like, you know, his infamous foreshore line. Bit of a meme, bit of a weird meme, but either way. But I wouldn't want him doing the voiceovers for the next 2 years. I just like Bane more. I really want him to kind of carry on. Simon Vicklin's just a legend for the music and for playing Bane, honestly. But there's my thoughts anyway. And to that person who stopped listening, you probably can't even tell because you're not listening right now, but you can come back now. We're done. Next up, we've got some questions from Waiting for PD3. And these are all actually questions that aren't related to Payday. And this is what I like because there's some decent balance. Even though clearly you must have subbed for Payday because you're waiting for Payday 3. Don't worry, same. Anyway, first question. Have you seen Star Wars The Last Jedi? And if yes, what are your thoughts? I adored Star Wars The Last Jedi. And I know there are people who cannot stand it. And I know there are people like me who love it. It's such a divisive film. It's so, like, interesting the way that they did that. But I absolutely adore the sequel franchise. I think it's amazing. I really like Rey and Kylo Ren. They're my standout characters. I just really like both of their personalities. And the film itself was just amazing. And I've watched it twice in the cinema. And I don't get, like, I know where some people are coming from when it's like, oh, if you have to watch a film twice to kind of appreciate it more, then clearly it's not a very good film. But I don't always agree. Sometimes that applies, but it depends on what film you watch. Sometimes with films like Star Wars, if you watch it a second time, you see details that you missed and little bits in conversations. And there were a few times in that film where I heard things and I was like, oh, I didn't hear that the first time. Things make more sense now. So, plus I just really wanted to see it. It was kind of like, it was in the middle of my uni exams, and I was like, I need a break over the weekend to stop stressing. I'm going to go watch Star Wars again, and it did its job, honestly. But honestly, it's my favourite Star Wars film out of all 8, and I know people are going to hate me for saying that, but I adore it. Deal with it. It's my opinion. It doesn't mean it's the law. I just love it to bits. What are your top 3 games of 2017? People who know me, like, off of YouTube, will already probably be able to guess the top one. I was going to do a top, like my top 10 games of all time. It's kind of like a different non-Payday video. But it just felt too much like I was like being Watch Mojo. And I was just like, nah, it's not worth it. But top 3 games. Okay, third one, probably Star Wars Battlefront 2. And I know, I keep picking all the controversial things here. But I know people don't like Battlefront 2 for its microtransactions. Personally, as someone who's poured so much time into the game, I've been able to get everything that I wanted in Battlefront 2 just from playing the game and leveling up and doing the progression. So I don't really need microtransactions. And even then, I would, if I bought crystals, I wouldn't be too bothered. I'd buy a few and get a few more crafting parts for like star cards. But like, I have high level Kylo Ren and Rey and Emperor Palpatine and stuff like that, and I just get on to have a good time. I don't care about the microtransactions. I don't think they're as game breaking as everyone says, but again, it's my opinion. Some people will find that it's more effective because they don't play the game as much and they can't get the cards that other people have, and I completely understand that. It's just from the perspective of someone who plays the game a lot, it doesn't bother me as much, but that's my opinion. So I adore the game, and I'm going to be playing it for a long time. Second place, Sonic Mania, because, well, I mean, it was released on my birthday, which was a nice little gift. For anyone who saw the video, you'll know that. But that was a nice little birthday present. And also just because I've played Sonic for so many years, for like 12 years now I've been playing Sonic the Hedgehog. And for something as amazing as Mania to actually come out on Xbox One to be a new, fresh game, it just knocked the ball out of the park, and the reviews are mental. I'm pretty sure it's the highest reviewed Sonic game in the last like 20 years, so if that doesn't say anything like enough for you, then I don't know what will. But if you haven't played Sonic Mania and you like Sonic the Hedgehog, A, what are you doing, and B, go buy it right now. Pause this video and go buy it right now, and then come back, and then we can carry on with the Q&A. Just saying, I'm not telling you, but I'm strongly recommending that you do that, because it's just a beautiful game. And then number 1, only because I absolutely adore this franchise, Life is Strange Before the Storm. I only played the first game back in June last year after I finished my A-level exams, because it was kind of like, I've got no games to play. Oh, I bought this quite cheap at Christmas, let's give it a go. And for ages I didn't want to play Life is Strange because I felt like it was like a copycat of a Telltale game. Like, oh, they're just trying to ride off their kind of episodic choice-based video game thing to make money. They don't care about anything else. Then I played the game, and it stands out more than any Telltale game I've ever played. Honestly, I just adore it so much. The franchise, the characters, the settings, everything about it is just amazing. Plus, the choices feel like they hold a lot more weight. There's a lot kind of mini details in the background where there's more things you do, like certain actions build up and then have bigger effects later on. And there's things that I'm still learning about the first game I didn't even know, and I've played through it like 3 or 4 times. So it's honestly, I just adore it so much. And the prequel, I was a bit skeptical about it at first, as I'm sure a lot of people were who know about the game, because the main character, Chloe Price, had a different voice actor. because most of you, well, some of you at least will know who Ashley Birch is. She's been in quite a lot of kind of different games providing voices. Most recently, I think it's Aloy is her name, or Aloy, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Again, I don't play the game, but in Horizon Zero Dawn. But she played Chloe Price in the first game, and she was unable to reprise her role because of the voice actor strike that was going on. It's now ended, but at the time when they were making the game, they couldn't bring Ashley in. So she was on board as a writer, and they brought another person in to do the voice acting, and honestly, I was so skeptical about it, like I said, as most people probably were, but I think that the new voice actor, Rhiannon DeVries, did an amazing job, and the storyline was just fab. I think it's testament that I'm just so willing to buy whatever edition of the game that comes out afterwards. They've released like a bunch of different limited editions on pre-order, and I just bought the top one without hesitating. I was like, nope, I'm having that, that's coming here, I want to own it. Anything to do with Life is Strange, I adore, I just love it. And I mean, there's loads of stuff still coming out for the game, like they're going to be doing a live-action TV series, like on a Netflix-type streaming site, I don't know which one, but they revealed that in like mid-2016, there's no details yet, so we're still sitting on that, and hopefully E3 2018 will have Life is Strange 2, but that's enough fanboying for me, because if I carry on, I'm going to be talking about it for 20 minutes, but that was my top spot. So yeah, Before the Storm, Sonic Mania, and Battlefront 2 are my top 3 games. So, and another one, input from the comments, what were your top games? I'd like to, you know, share some opinions, but either way, let's move on. What are you studying at uni, and do you have a job in mind? I'm studying maths at uni, and I have no idea what job I want to do, honestly. I have cycled through about 6 or 7 ideas in the last 5 years. Every time I come up with a decent idea, I just kind of go afterwards, nah, it's not a good one, I'm just going to move on. And I've got to the point now, I'm just like, something will happen at some point in my kind of degree period of life where I kind of go, maybe this job is the right one for me, maybe I should start focusing on this, and then hopefully I'll just be cast away to go off and work on that, on whatever that job is. But so far, nothing or no idea has swept me off my feet in that way, so I'm going to stick to studying maths, stick to spending all my nights stressing, and stick to trying to do YouTube videos in between. Now, it is stressful, but you just kind of go with it, and I try and keep most of the uni work in uni, and then try and relax when I get home, so I'm just doing my best to manage it. But yeah, so maths, and in terms of a degree, maths is about as weird and confusing as you would expect, but I don't know, in a weird way I kind of enjoy it. I don't overly so, but it's better than anything else I could have picked, put it that way. Do you play an instrument? Yes, I do. I play piano. I've been playing it now for, oh my god, how long? Like, over 10 years. Oh, I'm so old. Oh, I hadn't even thought of it like that. Over 10 years I've been playing the piano. And I don't even know whether I'm afraid to even blooming say it, but occasionally I tend to like do like singing performances as well, but I don't do anything official because I don't really feel like I'm good enough. I know people will like say to me, like mates will go, oh, you're quite good, but I feel like, you know, sometimes you have that kind of insecurity that people are saying it just because they're your mate and they don't want to upset you, but I don't know, I just tend to do it in my free time, occasionally when I'm just relaxing, maybe when I'm waiting for a video to render or something. To Reddit, I don't even have a Reddit account, what am I on about? Like when I'm waiting for videos to render or stuff like that, or videos to upload, I'll just sit and kind of play a bit, but it's more of just a hobby. I used to learn like quite heavily in high school, but then when I left, I didn't have a teacher anymore because he was one of the staff at that school, and after that I just kind of kept it going in my spare time, so I really like piano. If you don't know how to play an instrument, it's a fun thing to try and learn and play on. It kind of gives you something else to do, and it's different, and it's fun, it's exciting. I enjoy it. I think it's a bit of a good laugh. If you could do a collab with anyone on YouTube, who would it be? Honestly, it's probably got to be someone that I've watched for a long time, just because, you know, being a big fan of people. I mean, I tend to watch, in terms of YouTubers, probably if I named the top YouTubers that I watch, like if I was to name, say, 5, Vanoss, Minilad, Jacksepticeye, PewDiePie, doesn't do games anymore, really. Music, quite like him, I've been watching him for a couple of years. Honestly, I'd say Jacksepticeye, though, because he's probably the first YouTuber that I started properly watching, like, a lot. There was a period where I stopped watching his videos as much, but I've got back into him a lot more recently, and I just really like his content, and he's such a great guy. He's so down to earth. And despite the amount of media attention he gets, the amount of popularity he has on YouTube, I just think he's really good. And to do a collab video with him would be absolutely insane. I would do something with like Vanoss or Minilad, but I feel like I wouldn't fit in that friend group. It's like, it's a weird thing. It's like you see their friend group and you see how awesome like they all work together, and I'm just kind of like, nah. I'd just rather pick like a solo YouTuber or somebody who usually plays on their own, which Jacksepticeye does, and I just really like him, so that would be the person I'd pick. What weapons are you excited for in Payday 3? Honestly, it's weird to be excited for certain weapons because depending on what weapon you want, it's very much down to Overkill how they bring that weapon into the game, because obviously with like, say, SMGs and assault rifles, even with pistols, pretty much with most weapon categories, you kind of like have low damage, high ammo pool, and then medium for both, and then like high damage, low ammo pool weapons. And sometimes like you want a weapon to come out that's going to be like a particular type of gun, but it turns out being something that you're not really expecting it to be. Like, take the UMP45 for example. When it came out with the John Wick weapon pack, I was really excited for it, but I don't know, I expected it to be this amazing SMG, and it is like a high damage ammo pool, low ammo pool thing, but I just feel there's not enough ammo, and I can't really enjoy the gun as much as I enjoy it in like Modern Warfare 2 or something. There's some kind of classic guns that have been in the Modern Warfare games of Call of Duty that I really like. I'm also a big fan of Desert Eagle, so I would like to see a Desert Eagle in Payday 3. Hopefully one that sounds a bit more like a Desert Eagle, because the noise in there just kind of sounds a bit kind of, I don't know, muffled kind of. You know, that classic crisp noise you hear in like COD 4 Remastered. Like, stuff like that, like, just for them to get this kind of the look and the feel and the sound of the guns right. For people who've like played a lot of shooter games and kind of look out for that stuff, that'd be really good. But I don't know, modern weapons, so like UMP45, Desert Eagle, a really good AK-47. Other than that, I'm down to be impressed by whatever they bring out, honestly, because you never really know what will actually work well in Payday 3, and I'm always open with Payday 2 to trying out new things, mixing things up. It's the only reason I still play the game now, because if I just stuck to the same thing forever, I'd get bored, or I would have been bored a long time ago. Would you consider doing build tutorials for characters from games, TV shows, or films like Star Wars? Is everyone watching Star Wars all of a sudden? Because half of my friends don't even watch Star Wars, haven't seen The Last Jedi, so I'm struggling to find people to talk to about the film, but I don't know. Would I consider doing build tutorials? It's an interesting one, because it very much depends on who you ask me to do. Because depending on who you focus on, it's a really weird one here, because there might be certain characteristics and traits that you want to portray that Payday 2 doesn't give you the opportunity to do. For instance, if you were to do Star Wars, let's say you wanted to go for like a Jedi character, how would you be able to kind of convey the fact that they rely a lot on the Force and they can use a lightsaber? I mean, what are you going to do? Wield like a great sword melee weapon? It's like, it's not really practical for Payday, because you can't just slice down enemies with it unless you're playing on, say, normal difficulty. So there are certain characters that just don't work. But I don't know, I mean, I could possibly try it. If anyone has suggestions, I mean, I'm always up for video ideas, and honestly, a couple of times I've had no ideas for Payday, and then something's happened in like the Payday verse that's kind of been discussion point for a video, like the Payday 3 support coming soon, like Payday 3 coming sooner and Payday 2 having its support pushed back. And yeah, stuff like that, and Joy coming out on the Switch. Like when I get ideas that I'm like, oh yeah, I have a video to make now. And I don't normally have a load of ideas, so if people have suggestions for that, another reason to get in the comments, if you're still watching, then there you go. Suggest some characters for me to try and do builds for. Ideally not ones that copy other people. I mean, I suppose I could give my own take on them, but, you know, some unique ideas would be good as well as, you know, popular ideas, so either way, that's, you know, kind of what I would do. I'm open to it, but it depends on what it is. And guys, that'll about wrap it up for this Q&A video. Thank you for all the questions that you guys sent in, and thanks again for 1,600 subs. We're already well on the way to 1,700, and the rate we're going at, it'll be 2k in no time, and it's mental. Thank you so much for all the support. Also, one little mini thing at the end I just want to mention. Payday 2 and GTA 5, the Hoxton Breakout, hit 200,000 views in the last couple of days. And that is just mind-boggling. It's so ridiculous, but so amazing. Thank you to everybody who watched that video and showed support on it. I understand most people won't even be watching this Q&A, but if you have watched that video at any point and you've shown support, thank you so much, because you have contributed to it. I can't thank you guys more for all the things you've done in supporting me on that. And other than that, all the videos I've put out recently, the amount of kind of responses and comments and interaction I'm getting is more than I've ever had before, and I'm loving it so much, being able to talk to you guys and, you know, share opinions and reply to comments, because I never used to get a lot of them. So it's a really good thing, and things are always improving on the channel, and I'm really happy about it, so thank you very much. But yeah, as I said before, if you do want to see another Q&A, please leave some questions down below in the comments. You can always message me on Twitter or on Xbox Live. You guys know my Gamertags by now. They're always in the description. But other than that, I'm going to leave it there. So thank you guys very much for watching, and subscribe if you're new, like the video if you did enjoy it, and leave your thoughts about some of the things I said down in the comments below. I'll be very interested to debate some of these things with you. Did you like Star Wars The Last Jedi? Have you got any video ideas for Payday 2? Just whatever you want to talk about. Just talk about your shopping if you want to. I don't really care. But there you go. Thank you all very much, and I will see you all in the next video. Thank you very much for the support. It's much appreciated, guys. Take it easy. I'll see you in the next video.